Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, our Moments with God. And I do hope that this program, our Moments with God, is somehow helping you to increase the time or the moments that you spend in private with God. And in these moments, you are also trying to build a better connection with the Lord, eventually to have a relationship. And if God wills, with His grace, also to build a deeper friendship with Him. I hope you're succeeding in that, and that's the purpose of this video. And I hope you're sharing the video with others and also have subscribed to this channel, which you may do at the end of the video. Thank you. I don't know how the screen will appear today to you, but here I am standing here. To me, the screen looks a bit bluish, but actually I'm standing inside the house because outside it is raining and wet for last 3 days, and the forecast is it will keep raining. There is a lot of damage here because the rivers are overflowing and has flooded many places. But despite that, I am imagining that today in the gospel, there is a character, a centurion, a very big army officer in the Roman administration, and he has a slave. This slave is sick. Normally, slaves had no value among their owners, much like we treat our domestic help, whom we call in India mostly servants. Here in Europe, nobody calls them servants. They mostly call them co-workers, Mitarbeiter in German. Mitarbeiter means co-workers. They are not servants. They are working together in the family. Of course, in India now, there are some people who have started using the term domestic help, which is much better than saying servants or slaves, or that's a different relationship. Anyway, that's another matter. But it is good for us as Christians to think how we treat our workers or those people who work for us, like this centurion who is so concerned about the slave who is sick that he approaches Jesus through his officers and asks Jesus to just come and if he could heal his slave. See the importance that the slave gets. And then you know the story that Jesus goes there. But before Jesus could go there, I suppose the centurion had seen from far. Yeah, he leaves his house. I am right now in the house, imagining that this is centurion's house. And centurion leaves the house and goes out to meet Jesus. And there he speaks a very, very important sentence. Imagine, this is from a centurion, a non-believer, a army officer, not a Pharisee who actually was the law keeper, or not a pious man, not a priest. But he says a word, a sentence, which we use every day in our Mass. And at a very important moment in the Mass, just before we receive the Holy Communion, we use the words used by the centurion who says, actually, I am so and so, but I am not worthy to receive you under my roof. Please only say a word and my servant will be healed. Of course, we have replaced it with my soul will be healed. But do you know how precious these words are? And do you pronounce these words consciously every time, or is it just a routine, things that come? For me, I find this very profound words. Lord, I am not worthy to receive you under my roof or in my soul. Only say one word. That is the position of Jesus. That is what he is. Of course, he, despite our unworthiness, despite our smallness, he makes himself so humble as to come to us, to come to me through this Holy Communion. How worthily do we receive Jesus is a big question. and a question that we should constantly examine and constantly try to answer. And especially when you look at today's first reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians, he speaks about those days when the Eucharist was not as such a Eucharist as we celebrate it today, but they used to gather together to celebrate the memory of the Last Supper with Jesus. But some of them were getting drunk, some of them were bringing their own food, the poor were left out, the rich were having their great celebration, etc. And Paul is very annoyed with that. People did not have the attitude of this centurion when they were meeting together, that I am not worthy to receive you. No, they were boasting about their wealth, about the power, how they could bring the best food, the best wine, the best drinks, and some of them were getting drunk, making this beautiful and holy celebration of the Eucharist as unworthy of itself. And therefore, Paul asks today in the reading, I am telling you what I have heard from Jesus, who told his disciples, this is my body, this is my blood. These are very powerful words, but it should go very deep into our hearts. This is my body. And how worthily do we prepare ourselves to receive this body? There can be a lot that I can speak about it, but I think it is important for us to examine for each one of us. How do we go and receive the Eucharist? Remember, at one place Jesus had said, if you have not reconciled with your brother or sister, leave the offering at the altar. Go first and reconcile with your brother, and then come and celebrate the Mass and celebrate. Do we do that? Are we following Jesus' words? Or are we just only through lips saying, I am not worthy to receive you? Please, let's together reflect on these words and try and make ourselves worthy before the Lord. I wish you all the very best, and please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.